The brothers are here. It took a while, but both Mario and Luigi have now gotten their own mainline title on the Switch. And even though the brothers have a lot in common, like fashion sense, fighting, and playing sports, they excel in different aspects. Mario prides himself in fast movement and precision jumping, while Luigi is better left for a slower pace and methodical thinking. But what they both do in their own separate adventures is exploring. So get ready for this design battle between brothers as we analyze how exploration is handled in Super Mario Odyssey and Luigi's Mansion 3. I want to issue a spoiler warning as I will be showing instances of how to find certain collectibles in both games, but I will be keeping it to earlier levels, so if you don't want to see any of that, then I'd recommend you click off the video now. In Odyssey, we are placed into levels that are set up as large open areas with some offshoots. These levels generally start out with some blockades that disappear upon completing certain events in the level. Because of the movement that Mario is known for, traversing these areas can be done very quickly and in multiple different ways. There's running, jumping, rolling, the possession abilities, fast travel, as well as some stages having unique ways of transportation. The contrast between games is instantly noticeable, as Luigi's Mansion places you in levels that are but a fraction of the size of Mario's. But unlike his brother, Luigi doesn't do all the fancy acrobatics to propel himself through each level. Instead, his journey is one of caution, as each level is divided into separate rooms holding their own separate challenges. These challenges are there for him to explore using nothing but his poltergust and wit. Both games' levels, although different in structure, have a lot of collectibles scattered around. Mario can find gold coins, purple coins, as well as moons. Luigi, on the other hand, looks for money, gems, and booze. As we can see, both games offer the same amount of collectibles that are found through exploration. But the main difference in how these games handle exploration is not in what or how many collectibles you can find, but rather in how you collect. In Odyssey, the main objective of the game is to collect moons, but the reason why I still view moons as collectibles rather than just the main objective is because of how many there are. In order to beat the game, you need to collect 124 moons, while there are 880 scattered across the levels of Odyssey. There are even levels in the game that you can move past without finishing the main questline. Luigi's Mansion, on the other hand, is a completely linear game. No matter how much you try, you have to go through the game in the order that the developers intended. But within these linear levels, there are plenty of secrets. If you find yourself in an explorative mood, you might want to take some extra time in order to find some of the gems that are scattered around. But in order to find everything, you will need to come back to the level once you've completed it, as the booze won't show up until after your first time going through the floor. Something to note about this is that the booze will never be an option for you until you make an active decision to go out and explore. This small note really shows how the games are structurally different. In Super Mario Odyssey, the main objective of the game is exploring. But in Luigi's Mansion, the exploration is an extra that you may partake in as a player if you so wish. During the industry's infancy, a lot of the process of making video games was unknown. But as the industry and the players matured, the mystery started to fade. It is well known today that making video games is not only difficult, but also requires a lot of time, effort, and money. Because of this, there needs to be a limit to what the game can be and do. And since Odyssey has progression and exploration tied into the moons, the value of a moon can vary a lot throughout the game. The reward from finding a glowing spot on top of a hill and ground pounding it is the same as what you get from finding a hidden part of a level and making your way through a meticulously crafted platforming gauntlet that's made to test your skills. On the other hand, Luigi's Mansion draws a clear line between what the player has to experience in order to beat the game and what some players will experience in their playthrough. This line is not only clear to us as players, but it has a massive impact on the development of the game. By clearly specifying what the game requires of you in order to get to the end, the developers also know where to put in the most of the aforementioned effort. As for the other collectibles in the games, you have different forms of currency. There is basically no difference between how gold coins and money works. They both can be found scattered around the world, and every now and then you can find a larger stash. The coins in Mario are used to buy health power-ups, cosmetics, and even moons, while Luigi spends his money on golden bones which act as an instant revive, as well as getting location markers in the rooms that the other collectibles are placed. Purple coins differ quite heavily from the other currencies found in the games. Not in the way they are used, as you get mostly the same type of stuff from them, but rather how they are collected. The thing that separates them from the rest is that there is a limited amount of them. Every level that contains a store also has purple coins. The fact that there is a limited amount of them makes finding them a bit more special. And finite collectibles is what Luigi's Mansion thrives on. What's interesting about them is the fact that you get nothing out of them until you find all of each type. But even with this in mind, gems are still fun to find as they come with their own puzzles and challenges that build off of the main game. Boos, on the other hand, end up being a glorified game of Marco Polo. Whenever you're getting closer to the location of a boo, your controller starts to rumble more and more, until you either find it or go far enough away from it. I think it's because of this that they are relegated to only show up on floors that you've already completed. Doing it in that way allows a separation between players who aren't interested in the collectibles and the ones who are willing to go out of their own way in order to find them. And with that, we've gotten a clear view on what the collectibles are and what they represent in their respective games. I think it's safe to say that the collectibles in Luigi's Mansion 3 focus on the intrinsic rewards, while Super Mario Odyssey focuses on the extrinsic. Intrinsic rewards are rewards that hold no meaning in the material world. As an example, making YouTube videos that you're proud of, even though nobody might view them, would be an intrinsic reward. Much like how you can be proud of work that doesn't amount to more than a good feeling, you can get this from gems in Luigi's Mansion. Whenever you see one of them, you can choose to take the time out of your day in order to try to figure out how to get it. Some of these can be really tricky, and having that eureka moment can give you a rush of excitement as you finally get it. The game doesn't give you a reward for this until you've found all of them, but each one of the gems can hold a value anyway, dependent on your own perceived value of what you've achieved. Extrinsic rewards, on the other hand, are rewards that are given to you that hold meaning in the material world. It can be summarized as the paycheck you get from your job, or the coins that you can use in order to buy those sweet shorts. Of course, the collectibles in Mario won't be giving you anything from the material world, but within the context of the game, you are able to trade in your work for goods. Intrinsic and extrinsic rewards are not mutually exclusive, as there are tangible rewards for your efforts in the mansion, as well as there being multiple intrinsic rewards to be had within the collectibles of Odyssey. A great example for this would be the coins that can be found in the secret area within the subworld in Toast Arena. The actual value of the coins found in this very hidden spot can be more easily gotten elsewhere, but getting up there is a challenge that makes collecting those specific coins that much sweeter. I've been trying to stay fairly neutral throughout the video, but I think that my opinion of preferring the way that Luigi handles exploration shone through. I expect there to be a lot of people that hold a different opinion from me, much because of the fact that they handle it so differently and what works for one person might not work for the other. Now I want to take a moment to ask you about what you preferred. Did you prefer the wide open levels of Mario that are filled with stuff that will help you towards the goal of finishing the game? Or were the small rooms and focused challenges that broke you away from the progression of the game a comfier fit for you? Let me know in the comments, as well as what made you like one over the other. Thank you for taking the time out of your day and watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, then please leave a like, and if you want to see more, then consider subscribing. Thank you. Have a great day.